What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I just tried recording this, but I did not notice that my mic volume was off, which is great. But this channel is going to be basically a Marvel theories and movie review kind of channel. I'm also going to be covering different kinds of movies as well, like horror and action movies. But today we got the Avengers Doomsday trailer, which I've been waiting for, and I think a lot of Marvel fans have. And I did watch it. It looks amazing. And today we are going to do a breakdown of the trailer and just what I think is happening. We're going to be talking about all the, you know, leaks and stuff and how that's occurring in this trailer and just the story and maybe some stuff that you didn't see that I did. So let's just get into it right here. All right, starts off with the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters on the X-Men's world. It looks like is, all dusty after, most likely after the battle between the Sentinels and the X-Men and the Avengers, as we'll kind of see later here.
Something's coming.
And we see Xavier basically witnessing the incursion happening between his world and from the leaks we can assume that this is most likely Tobey Maguire's world here, that Xavier and Magneto have actually made the X-Men go over to Tobey's planet and planet killing bombs to destroy that planet before it collides with theirs and destroys both of theirs. And you can just see, Charles Xavier wincing here. And I think Charles will feel an extreme amount of regret and, almost like he is responsible for that world dying, which I mean, kind of is, but also not. He's trying to save his. He's trying to save both. You can't save both of them. You got to save one, right? So you're going to save yours. So I bet there's going to be an extreme amount of just, self-loathing coming from him. And also Eric, I think Eric is going to be like, we had to do it. And I think, Magneto might actually side with Doom at the end of the movie, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here.
Something we may not be able to deter before this day is done.
And we got Doom looking awesome here. His armor is just, it's amazing. He's aura farming like he should. Probably throughout the whole movie, he's looking intimidating. He's looking badass. We could see in the back here, there's like this fountain. So this is most likely at the Xavier Institute that just got destroyed. And it looks like Doom is, we got this leak scene of him resurrecting the Sentinels to fight off the Avengers, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. It looks like that this is this scene. There's a scene where he puts his hand down to the ground and basically summons them with green magic. That's what it looks like is happening here. So he's just getting ready to summon his minions and to screw off. And I think Thor is going to chase him.
We shall be faced with an unthinkable decision.
And he is talking about, we should be faced with an unthinkable decision. And I think this fits in with how Xavier is destroying other planets to save his own. I think Doom, that's what he's talking about here. We have to eliminate these other ones to save our own world. But Doom, from what we know about the leaks, he might have lost his world and it killed his son and daughter. So I think what he is going to do, as we know from the Secret Wars comics, he's going to basically create his own universe and have his family back and all that. But I think that he is talking to the Avengers in the Avengers headquarters right here. I think he's giving a speech as to why he's wearing a mask and why he's scarred and all that. That's just my theory. And then now we see the new Avengers tower, if you remember from the Thunderbolts. And I'll be honest, I think the new logo looks kind of wonky and a little dumb, but whatever. It's just a nitpick.
I've fought with many warriors in my time.
We see the Fantastic Four and Thor in the back there. We already know that Doctor Doom is going to be with them on the Fantastic Four ship, as well as Steve Rogers, as they are, coming into this world, as we saw from the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. So I think what is happening here is that, Marvel's doing their thing of cutting characters out of the trailer. I think Doom and Steve Rogers are either behind them or already off the ship, something like that. You can see Reed's face here. He looks kind of concerned. I hope that Doctor Doom and Reed Richards' rivalry is still in the movie, because that is their big thing, and it kind of just looks like he's looking off to Doom, like, what are you planning, kind of thing. You came to my house and grabbed my son, and what are you planning, Doctor Doom? I know something is amiss here, and I wonder if he tells the other characters that. I really hope they know each other in this. Also, I think Reed's. I think this ship that they're in is just their regular ship from the Fantastic Four movie. Although I do hope that we see Reed Richards create the planetary raft ship he has in the comics, in Secret Wars, to basically survive the incursion, survive Doom creating the new world, and basically Reed is collecting the last superheroes from his Earth to survive. It's like the only way to survive their universe from being destroyed. It's a life raft basically. So I wonder if they're going to do that, and then those specific characters remember what happened afterwards, just like in the comics when Battle World is created. I'm not sure, but I hope that happens.
You're far stronger than all of us.
Okay, we see the main teams here, excluding the X-Men. We see the new Avengers here. We see the old Avengers, I guess, and then we see the Fantastic Four and Thor in the back here giving an epic speech here. I think that Doom is probably standing right here, just because there's like awkward space right here, as you can see, between Johnny and Sue Storm. I think Doom is standing right there, and then I think Thor is giving his speech. I think he is talking. It seems like he's talking about Doom, right? He just fought Doom, and he's just like, there's this, uh, there's this threat out there that no one can basically, fight against. I've been in these more powerful teams that have, also just perished against the threat, not even as like powerful as this one. I think he might be talking about incursions and how basically there's maybe going to be no way to stop it. Because I think Doom is in this scene as well, and I think Doom will give his speech that we just saw in the beginning of the trailer. Um, Although this could be after the Sentinel battle, they come back, rendezvous back at the Avengers Tower, and Thor's just like, I just fought Doom. This guy is OP as hell. It could be that too. I don't know.
Put together, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats.
All right, and then we see the Talukans and the Wakandans here. We see the Fantastic Four on the right here, and the new Avengers to the left here. There's going to be some sort of misunderstanding, most likely, between the Wakandans and Talukans. And Namor, I feel like he is going to side with Doom at the end of the movie. He's a character that would probably do that. Maybe he's like, yeah, Doom is like, he's demonstrated his power, and maybe he's just like, yeah, he's the god that could do this. And I wonder also, going back to that scene in the tower, I wonder if Doom is going to say that he is Rabam Alal from the comics. I'm probably not saying that right, but in the comics before the Secret Wars event, there is this like cosmic conspiracy with this with this like prophet or savior called Rabam Alal, who is supposed to save the universe. And there's these black swans, this cult of black swans that are loyal to him. And it turns out at the end that Doctor Doom is actually this mysterious prophet, and that he is the one to save everything. Um, I hope they do that at some point in this movie, and maybe that convinces some of the Avengers, or maybe it convinces Namor. I don't know. And then I think, after Namor fights the Avengers here, I think Sue Storm in the back here is going to start like talking to Namor and being like, we gotta work together or we're all gonna die. And then he's gonna be like, oh, you're so beautiful, like, do you, I don't see that you have a husband, do you want to be my queen, or something like that, because like, if you know these characters, they are, Namor really likes yeah, he really likes Sue Storm. He's a bit of a horn dog, okay? So
That scared me far less.
and then here, I did not notice this before, but we have Thor dropping in, but we have the Sentinel bodies here destroyed. You can see their legs, um, just completely destroyed here. So this is after the Sentinel battle, and maybe Thor just goes off and he's like chasing Doctor Doom, and he's like, "Oh, I found you," and then they pop off in this epic battle. I'm not really sure who the statue is of, but we know it's at the Xavier Institute.
Less than this one.
We have Cyclops looking badass in his comic accurate suit. Finally. Can't wait to see the fight scenes in this movie. I bet it's going to be awesome. Speaking of fight scenes, we get Gambit versus Shang-Chi, and yeah, very cool. Of course, they were fighting because they don't know each other, and two, Doctor Doom has probably deceived them, the Avengers, and saying we got to go over to this X-Men universe because they've been the ones destroying these other universes, and they're gonna destroy yours. So it's basically like, kill them or be killed. So they go and expecting them to be hostile, and also the X-Men expect them to be hostile because maybe they know that they've been destroying universes as well. So, it's this big misunderstanding here. We also know Nightcrawler is going to be fighting Reed Richards as well. And then we see later Yelena fighting Mystique.
Everything that they
We see a Loki TVA card here, and I think that these hands are actually Steve Rogers, and this is when Loki comes in to Steve Rogers' house.
sacrifice will be for nothing.
You can see here he is in some kind of house. There's curtains behind him. I think he's talking to Steve, and he's like, you got to get out of this universe. It's going to be destroyed because you caused an incursion. We're going to put you on the Fantastic Four universe, which has been leaked to be true. Steve is going to be living in the Fantastic Four universe, with Peggy Carter. And supposedly Steve's going to have a son too, but I'm not sure how true that is. So Loki is going to, basically be like, if you need any help, just give me a ring on this card, and I'll pop in and help. What's interesting is that Loki is wearing his, TVA outfit from like the first season. First and second season, but this is before he is like, the multiverse god Loki that we see at the end of season 2. Apparently this is going to be him before that, and I don't understand like the timeline here. It's going to be interesting to see like why they chose to put Loki while he's at the TVA. He's probably, this is like now when he's working with Mobius and stuff, most likely. Maybe he just goes to his universe and warns Steve because he just knows something. I'm not really sure, because you would think that this is him as the god Loki, and he is looking at all these universes and he sees this catastrophe coming. But I don't know, it could be misleading too. Maybe he's not wearing that.
Nothing. stand together.
We see the Fantastic Four, and only two members of the Fantastic Four, and we see the new Avengers, and that is because Reed and Johnny are they are on the X-Men universe, investigating that situation. We also see that Shuri has like blue on her outfit now, which I've seen some people say symbolizes their kind of pacts between the Wakandans and the Talukans, Namor and stuff. So most likely. And we see in the back, the big waves there, and maybe Namor is pushing the waves away so they can all meet. I don't know. It seems pretty extreme to do that just for a meeting, but that seems most likely for now, anyways. We see Yelena coming in here. She's about to, fight Mystique for whatever reason. But in the back here, we actually see Reed Richards pushing away Captain America. So I think Cap wants to get in on the fight too. They're it looks like they're sneaking in, right? And then we see Herbie over here in a more like comic accurate look. So that's pretty interesting. I think Reed knows something that maybe they don't. I don't know.
Hide your petty squabbles.
Then we see Mystique. See Mystique turning into Yelena here, which is pretty cool. I like her comic accurate outfit, but I don't like the hair. Yeah, it just doesn't look good. But it's cool that she's in the movie.
Presume nothing.
And then we see Magneto and Charles here.
Except this. If you...
And it kind of looks like Charles is like saying a farewell to Magneto. Like, I don't know. It almost looks like Magneto's dying or something. He's slumped down. I don't know. Both of them look really depressed. It looks like maybe they think they're all going to die from the incursion. I'm not really sure. But what we do know about Magneto in this movie is that he is going to have a big battle scene at some point. He is going to wear his full armor and everything. It's been confirmed. Ian McKellen has also, accidentally said in an interview that he is going to destroy New Jersey for whatever reason. So he's not just going to be slumped there, dying of old age or whatever. I don't really know why they are acting like this. I guess I feel like Magneto would be comforting Charles because I feel like he would be the one that is feeling most down about destroying another world. But I don't know, maybe something more personal is going on here. I don't know. I do feel like Magneto might side with Doom, though. I could see that happening.
Return.
And then we see Scott comforting his. So we see people comforting each other. We see Charles and Magneto. Now we see Scott and Cassie, his daughter. He's basically telling her, everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna go on this big mission to save the whole multiverse, just somehow. I don't think he's gonna tell her that everyone is going to die. The universe is gonna explode. I doubt that. But it's basically just him, saying he's gonna be away for a while, working with the Avengers. So. This is a very interesting shot because we see Johnny here. He's kind of like, he's dirtied up here. Maybe there was a fight that just occurred, and he's like holding Franklin Richards here because this is like short blonde hair. I don't think it's Sue. And it looks like there's an explosion behind him. The explosion looks like it might be an incursion just based off of like the color palette of the one we saw with Charles at the beginning, but it could be something else. To me, this kind of does look like end of the movie stuff. It looks like he's like, oh man, we're all gonna die. I'm gonna hold you close before we die, and that's it. But who knows? That's just what it looks like.
Turn has brothers and sisters.
We see this badass shot of Cyclops blasting out the Sentinels, which is awesome. I can't wait to see that fight scene.
Mark my words.
And then again, like I said, there's going to be a misunderstanding between the Talocons and everyone else. I'm interested as to why Namor is pissed here. Uh, did he get word from Doom saying like, don't trust the Avengers? Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Doom went there after the Sentinel battle, and then he's just like, yeah, you guys need to stop, and then he starts fighting them. I don't know. I do think though, if Thor is there or something, I think Thor will put Namor in his place. Namor's pretty powerful, but he's not Thor level. I think Sue Storm could even beat him. So we'll see. Again, Snow Bunny mind control. Sue Storm will probably just stop him by her good looks. I don't know.
Mark my words.
We see this epic shot of Doom just standing there, aura farming. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna take this hit. Boom, Doom just blocks it totally. 2 fingers, which is pretty badass. And yeah, we can see that, if you remember Infinity War, Stormbreaker is a god-killing weapon. And it was made specifically to kill Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlets. With the Infinity Gauntlet, like all the stones. And, if you remember, he threw this axe and it deflected all of the blasts of the Infinity Stones and, hit Thanos and almost killed him. So that's just you know, the power level here. Like this is above that. And I will say Doctor Doom is not usually that OP. He's not usually above multiversal level. I think here he's being amped by something. As we can see on his gauntlet here, there's this runic symbol. We saw during this like Disney light show that out of the 10 rings, it looks like Doom creates this rune of power. And it's glowing green and stuff. So I think he is amped by that, whatever that is. Maybe it's the 10 rings. I don't know, but it's very interesting. And we see, Doom's mask looks absolutely incredible. This is comic accuracy. This looks beautiful. I could kiss those metal lips. Looks amazing. I like how he has the screws in the mask. It looks, medieval. We could see Doom's eyes faintly glowing green, which means he's using his magic. So yeah, very interesting.
We're going to need a miracle. Hey, pal. It's not possible.
And then Thor is like, we're gonna need a miracle to stop this threat. And he's like, oh, this isn't possible. And Steve Rogers gets Mjolnir back, and it's not Mjolnir from his universe or anything. This is Mjolnir from Thor: Love and Thunder. Right at the end of the movie, he gives it to Love, his daughter, and we know that because it's the cracked Mjolnir from that movie that got destroyed and reforged. So yeah, that's what's happening here. Steve didn't just come in with his own hammer. Thor just gives it to him. And yeah, it's awesome. Steve's looking good. Thor's looking good. And yeah, he's like, I'm back to kick some ass, but I don't have a badass suit. But, um, I got a t-shirt and I look ripped as hell. So, let's go flex on Doom and, cock block him basically. um, So yeah, it looks great. I'm very excited. The music at the end there it's very somber, right? It seems like everything is lost. I think they're gonna lose at the end. I can't wait to see it. I also want to point out the poster here that we got with the trailer. We can see Doctor Doom like kneeling, not really kneeling, but he's got his mask off in his right hand, and we see this big mural of. At first, I thought it was him and his mom, but I think it's more likely his wife and daughter, or not daughter, wife and son that got killed in the incursion that was caused by Steve Rogers, most likely. And he's just basically mourning here, and we can see at the bottom here, bottom left, there's like kind of like wizard figure, and we know through the leaks that there's going to be basically this like coven that he has of witches and wizards that is helping amp his power level. So that's what that could be. Very interesting. I think the poster looks absolutely incredible. It looks medieval. I'm very glad of the style they're going with. They're being authentic to Doctor Doom, which is great. And that is the trailer, guys. Very excited. I'm kind of out of breath now because the second time recording this video, but I got it out, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like Spider-Man, if you like Marvel, even horror, because I'll be covering stuff like that. Don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.